Hi everyone, today we're going to have a look at a minimal basic progression 6-2-5-1, and the 6-2-5-1 is a very common progression that you can find in all genres of music, especially jazz. You can find it in turnarounds, turnbacks, introductions, in the middle of a song. So what we're gonna see now is a way to explore again, always and again, Barry Harris harmony. So the first and most important thing I find in this school of music is horizontal movement or motion in opposition to or in comparison to vertical movement. So horizontal movement would be playing on a scale, and vertical movement would be just pushing chords. So it's like more like a chord coming from above. So it's vertical in the sense that you're just playing a chord. So if you have on a chart, you have a G minor, just play the G minor. So that's kind of like that's a vertical movement. So what's beautiful about the school of Barry Harris is that you learn that a chord comes from a scale. So if a G minor is a chord, it has to come from a scale. It doesn't come from above, just as a chord from the sky, like a revelation like this. Oh, I just discovered the G minor chord. No, the G minor, if you play a G minor chord and you know that a G minor is a B flat 6, then you know that you can move it around. So it's coming from a scale actually, and in this case it's this scale, okay? So I think that's one of the most important characteristics of the school of Barry Harris, is that we try to figure out where the chord is coming from, which scale, and then if you know which scale is coming from, it means you can actually play a scale instead of playing a chord. So you start creating horizontal movement as opposed to just vertical movement. Okay, so that was a long introduction. So now I'll put a chart for you on the screen, just to know which scale is our chords coming from. So we saw in my previous two videos that for a minor 6 you play a major 6 above, minor third above a major 6. For a dominant you play the two minor 6s, important minor or tritones minor. For a 7 flat 5 you play a minor, the minor 6. So they're all 6 chords, and they're all 6 diminished scales. Of course, you can play infinite kind of scales. You can even come up with your own scale. and which are also, you can call them modes. Okay, so it's all the same, it's just different words. So if we know that from my previous lesson that the A minor is a C major and that the B dominant is a C minor or a G flat minor, and that G flat minor 7 flat 5 is a A minor 6, then we know what to do, for example, on a 1, 6, 2, 5. So let's have a look at this progression. In the key of F, we'd have 1, 6, 2, 5. Back to the 1. Okay. So we know that the 1 is a F, and for a F you can play a F major 6 diminished scale. You can also play the 6 on the 5th, so the 5th is a C. If I play a C6 over a F, I can also play this. So I have two choices now for the 1. I have the 6 on the 5th, which is the C, and I have the 1. Okay. If I take the 6th diminished scale now over the 1, we have F, but we also have the diminished that comes with the F, which is the G diminished. Okay, so now on the 1 we can do this. We can play F6, we can play G diminished, etc., etc. But we said that we could also play the 5th, the C, and the C diminished scale, 6th diminished scale, comes with a D diminished. So this means that for our progression 1, 6, 2, 5, 1, for the 1 you have now 4 different scales to play with, to play around with. Okay, so you have the F6 or F major, but you have, if we take the F6 diminished scale, we also have the G diminished. So we have this, we have this, we have the C major, we have the diminished that comes with the C major diminished scale. So we have a lot of options here. So we could start with a C6 like this, resolving to the F. So here I'm just playing a C major chord. I'm dropping the 2 here. And I'm resolving to the F, so the G goes to F and the E goes to D. If I do it chromatically. Okay, so now we have this for the 1. Now remember, I could also use the G diminished and the D diminished, because this is part of the F scale and this is part of the C scale. So I could do something, I can play around with it. Okay, here is a movement I just created now. Here's the D diminished. Here's the G diminished. Here is the F. Do you see that? Okay. So now let's do something else on the 1, because we're talking about horizontal movement. So here I'm starting on the 5th degree of F, which is the 5th degree of R1. And we said that the G diminished came with the F diminished scale, F6 diminished scale. So now I can do this, and then I can reach inside for the diminished, the G diminished, and resolve it to the 6, back to the F6. Back to the F6. Now guess what? On the 2, on the 6, because the progression is 1, 6, 2, 5, 1. So this is on the 1, F diminished, F diminished, F diminished, F. Now the 6 in F is D, is the D minor. And we know that the D minor is a major 6 from the minor third above. So for a D minor we can also use a F6 diminished scale. So here we have the 1, and now the 6. I'm using a F6 for the 6. The 6 is D. So we just created a movement over the 1, 6. Okay, then we have the 2, so 1, 6, 2, 5, 1, 1, 6, 2, so the 2 is G, G minor. We know that G minor is B flat 6 diminished scale. So we can use a B flat over a G. And the secret is always to play, to have a good voice leading, so to play close, to find the movement or the chord that's the closest to where you are. So if we started like this, two, 6. So we have the 1, 6, 2, 1, 6, 2. Okay, so we have the 1, 6, 2. For the G minor, which is the 2 in F, we use the B flat. We can do a movement on the 2 because we know it's the B flat 6 for the G minor. And then, so we have this. Remember, I'm just creating this as we speak, okay? Because I just came up with this now. I never played this before, but I know the rules. I know which scale comes with which chord. So I know that for the 1, what to use on the 1, on the 6, on the 2. Okay, so here's the 1. And in the beginning I said, okay, we could also use a D diminished because it's the part of the C 6 diminished. So I could do, instead of doing this, we also came up with this. I don't remember what we did exactly, but let's stick with this. Now here is the 2, the G minor. It comes with the C diminished, because it's the B flat 6. And now for the 5, which is C in the key of F, the C7, we know that C7 is either G minor or the tritone, which is D flat minor. So we already have a G minor over the 2 in F. So we could actually just play it twice like this. So we could say, we don't have to change anything. The 6, the 2. So I can play a C7, keep the same chord. Okay, you see? For the C7, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna do a movement because I know where the chord comes from. Where the C, what can I do with the C7? So I could say, that's for over the C7. Now let's go to the D flat minor, because it's tritone of G minor for the C7. So now we have a 1, 6, 2, 5. Now over the 5. And now let's resolve it back to the 1. Or, because we know that the F major is also C, C6, which is the 5. So let's do again the progression 1, 6, 2, 5, 1 in the key of F, and we'll finish with that. D flat minor. Okay, so this was an example of what we can do with the progression and how we think over it, about it, how we go about it. Now this sounds like a perfect introduction for a lot of songs. So for example, okay, so this was over polka dots and moonbeams. I can also do it over as an intro for I Know Why. So this was an example of another song called I Know Why. So let me know. I hope you enjoyed this and you got something out of it. And let me know if you have questions in the comment section. Thank you.